What are we going to talk about today? Let's find out. Hello everyone, good morning, good day. I hope everybody's well. Today's video is based on a conversation about the natural hair community. This is a video that I've wanted to make for a really long time. Now that we have this channel, why not begin our conversations off with the natural hair community and the issues that should be and can be addressed. So we're going to begin that off today. And since this is a natural hair community, I felt like it wouldn't be right if we weren't since this is a natural hair community, of course we have to dive into this conversation before we can dive into any other conversation first. So here we are about to have a wholesome conversation about the natural hair community. So let's get started. I have a few notes written down on my iPad. So if you see me looking down, that's me reading off some of my notes about the natural hair community and black hair growth and the correlation between these two things. Not the correlation, but the relationship these two things have with each other. We're gonna get real, so let's get real. And a lot of young black women want to get into going natural or like begin taking care of their hair and themselves. They are often found in situations where they feel judged, they don't feel welcome, or they don't feel like they have a safe space to learn and grow. And I think one of the things that the natural hair community was created for and was meant for was to resolve this issue of, you know, creating safer spaces for black women, young black women, to learn about themselves, learn about their hair, learn how to take care of themselves and their hair, and all things hair and natural growth related. And I think this is where the issue comes from, the disappointment and the rejection that many young people feel, or even like older naturals feel, when they're trying to embark on their hair journey growth, or to begin to engage with this community. You know, we have a lot of YouTubers and people saying that the community is very toxic. There's a lot of colorism going on. There's a lot of texturism going on, which is all true. And also that the natural hair community is full of scams and dishonesty and all that other stuff, which is all valid and all true. And I can agree that the natural hair community can be toxic, and I believe that it feels that way because of two things. One, the natural hair community is over marketed and overworked. Now, by over marketed, I mean that you have a lot of products and companies marketing to black women because this movement is on a rise, because there are a lot of black women out there looking for, you know, quality grade hair care that promises them certain things like luscious hair length, or like beautiful, you know, textures and curl patterns and like all that other stuff. So I believe that that's where the over marketing comes from. That's where like the overwhelmness comes from. And community is also overworked, meaning that we have a lot of platforms, YouTube platforms with wonderful black women, and whilst these companies are marketing to the community, they need these influencers to, you know, buy into it and to feed us the products back to us. So in this sense, you have a lot of people and companies and influencers marketing to so many different people with so many different products, with so many different mission statements and whatever, which is great, but this is where the overwork comes from and the overwhelmness comes from. And this is why it may seem like the community is filled with scams, because you buy into these products and these ideas that are being shown to you and fed to you, and the results that you get is not the same as one that, you know, X, Y, and Z gets. So you get frustrated. There's a frustration and anger built up and a little bit of resentment, and this is where that feeling of scams and overworked and like over marketed comes from. People buy into the idea that certain products would give them certain length, certain curl pattern, different textures, and in reality, this is not inherently true. All you need to give your hair the best possible chance is attention, moisture product, a moisture product, emphasis on a because it's singular, a moisture product, and patience. This is all you need, because this is how I started my hair journey. Attention, a moisture product, and patience. I promise you that whatever you have in your home, in your bathroom, in your hair cabinet, whatever you have right now is enough to get you started. And even if you don't have anything, that's what I'm here for. We are going to get started together. Toxic. Another part of the toxicness that many beautiful Black women feel is that the community does not allow for learning and growth. And in that sense, there's not a safe space for that learning and that growth to take place. It is filled with judgment because, you know, people on the outside will expect, an individual will expect you to, you know, have your hair look a certain type of way, to be groomed a certain type of way, to have a certain type of texture, to, you know, be a different skin color. Like all these other things that come into, you know, beauty and acceptance is also really amplified in the Black hair community. And this is dangerous. This pushes people away. This pushes amazing women with wonderful potentials away from achieving their full potential. In that sense, it feels like a cult. It causes alienation and a lack of belonging. And when we're talking about the dishonesty in the Black community, I believe that the dishonesty, whether it's about product or people's hair texture, I believe that it all comes down to wanting clout, wanting that clickbait, or it's just an example of influencers or individuals prioritizing a check over the well-being and the overall growth of their audiences and the community members. So to respond to that, I believe that we as Black women, we as naturals, we as women in general need to find people, communities, or groups that allows us to grow and learn at our own pace in safer spaces without judgment. Find creators that will give you that basic space to learn and grow, that would give you that honesty. And yeah, here's the truth about going natural. Going natural is a long-term journey. It is a long-term process. It's not short-term. It's not something that you wake up one day and say, I want to go natural and I want to be waist length by like February or like by March. It doesn't work like that. It is a long-term process, which means that your focus instead of length needs to be on the health of your hair. Is your hair healthy? You know, is it moisturized? Are you trimming your ends? Are you doing all these things that will give your hair the best potential possible? So it is not a short-term thing. It's not, I'm going natural and by the time, you know, I start college, my hair should be by my hips, blah, 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 or to my shoulders. I want a big afro. It doesn't work like that. It is a long-term process. You want to think long-term, and when you're thinking long-term, you want to set realistic short goal. Right now, my hair is here. When I put my hair down from the front, it's up to here. So, and in 5 months' time or in 4 months' time, I want my hair to be at least to my nose or at least to here. You know, set like realistic goals in short time periods, not unrealistic goals. Like I want to be a waist length like by February, and it's like December. Like it doesn't work that way. You get me? Yeah. So going natural is a long-term process, and attention and patience is the key to healthy hair journey and to hair growth. The key to my growth is one, attention. When I'm talking about attention, I'm talking about attention to food, what you put into your body, hydration, your hair hydration. How much water are you drinking? How much water are you putting in your hair? And hair attention. How often are you doing your hair? How often are you moisturizing your hair? How often, you know, are you hands-on with your hair? Now, when it comes to food, it doesn't matter what your diet is. I'm a vegetarian, so I mostly eat like a plant-based diet, which is fine. Whatever you're gonna eat, whatever your diet is, eat. Make sure you're eating enough. Make sure you're not starving yourself. Just eat. Eat, 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 eat. Okay? Eat. And hydration. Drink water. Okay, this no debate. I am actually forcing this on you guys. Drink water. Water is your best friend. Water is your hair's best friend. Water is your cell's best friend. Water is your brain's best friend. Water is your best friend. So you want to stay hydrated all the time, and make sure that your hair is also hydrated as well. Hair retention. Find that one or a handful of products that work best for your hair. You know, not something that somebody subscribed to you or anything. No, like, get to know your hair. Find the products that work best for your hair texture, your hair color, whatever it is. Use it. Use it all the time with water, and I promise you will start to see a difference. You take care of your hair makes you look wonderful. It's a symbiotic. You want to get to know your hair, and the only way you can get to know your hair, the only way you can do that is to give it attention, to constantly do your hair, to constantly figure out what products work for your hair, what products doesn't work for your hair, what regimens are best for your hair texture, your hair type, the timely manner that's appropriate for you. You know, some people can spend hours doing their hair, some people cannot afford to spend hours doing their hair, some people can only give like 30 minutes or like 5 minutes. Get to know your hair, get to know yourself, your time, your schedule, and figure out regimens that will work best for you and your hair. And this is how you're paying attention to your hair. And the second thing that I already touched on was setting realistic goals and following through with them. You want to set short-term goals for the long term. You can have a long-term goal. Your long-term goal could be, I want healthy hair to my lower back at the end of this journey. That's a long-term goal. So now your short-term goals should be catered to how you're gonna get, you know, through that journey to the very end of reaching your goal. Or your long-term goal could be to have a huge, massive afro. So how are you going to maintain your hair in the short term in order for you to reach that full growth afro? So you want to set realistic short-term goals for the long term and follow through with them with your actions. And then wait. Like almost every YouTuber says this, but it is true. You have to wait. Waiting is the beauty of the process. But for me, shea butter did wonders for my hair. Shea butter plus water, like these two, they did it for me. Like it's great. So this just goes to show you that you don't need to be a product junkie. You don't need to have all these big product name or company names in order for your hair to grow. Your hair will grow as long as you're doing the main things. You know, you're paying attention to your hair, you're paying attention to the food, you provide your body the hydration, you provide your hair and your body, and a product that seriously works for your hair. But as a natural, I've never deep conditioned my hair, I've never done a hair mask, and my hair is fine. Like, your hair will grow as long as you're being attentive to it, as long as you're providing it with things it loves. That's it. You don't need the extra stuff. You don't need all these big products. You just need the minimum and the maximum amount of attention and patience. That's it. So with all that being said, welcome to my minimal natural hair community, where all hair types, all hair textures, all people, all stages of your journey are welcome. I'm a minimum natural hair list, and this is my community. Together, I'm gonna help you unlock your hair's potential in growing your beautiful natural hair. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be a lot of hard work, a lot of conversation happening. So I hope you guys tune in and stick with me throughout this journey. That's all for today's video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching.